Hey, it's Nina, and today marks the final day of my VSCOcam love story, part 4. Anyway, at the end of this movie, I would love for you to share. Movie makes it sound like 58 minutes. It's only, I think, 6. But anyway, at the end of it, I would love for you to share it with some friends who you think would enjoy these simple ways of editing their photos. So enjoy the little video, and I thank you in advance for sharing it, and I will let you get to it. Hey, what's happening? It's Nina with Blue Fly Lens, and I am here today with VSCO in my hand, back for another set of mini tutorials on how to maximize your use in VSCOcam. Okay, so last week we got going we took the pictures, we played around with exposure and focus, so you know how to do that now. And you also know how to both choose the appropriate filter for your picture and how to micro-edit that filter. So now that we've micro-edited the filter, I'm still working with my same old good picture of the sofa and pillows. And so now what I'm going to do is go down here to this tiny little bar down here. And if you don't remember how to get down there, you want to go to your group view of all your thumbnails. And then you just open up the picture that you've got going, double tap that, and now you press the middle icon here, the wrench and the paintbrush. Okay, so then down here you press the bar with the arrow and you're gonna pick the wrench. The wrench brings you down to a series of more edits, editing icons. You've got your face, you've got a sunshine, you've got almost a yin yang, you've got a little picker, you got a whole bunch of things. But what I'm gonna show you today is just the basics. So on the sunshine, you've got your exposure. The higher up you bring that dial, the brighter it gets. The lower you bring it down, the darker it gets. So you can fine tune some of that stuff that maybe you couldn't get perfect with the shooting and exposure circle. Okay, and then another one that is good to know about is this kind of half black, half white circle. That's contrast. The higher you bring it up, it's gonna make those highlights even brighter and the shadows even darker. And if you bring it down, it dulls the highlights and it brightens the shadows. So play around with that to get what you like, and just keep in mind the kind of what you like. You don't need to worry about looking like somebody else's pictures. You want to make it look like kind of what you saw in your mind, and kind of have your own vision. But the two that I love, kind of gives it kind of like a neat feel, are all the way down at the end. You've got these two pickers. You've got one that says an H next to it and one with an S next to it. The picker with the S controls the tones of the shadow color-wise, and the picker with the H gives you control over what color tint you want to give the highlights. So this is a really cool one. I like to use it subtly. It gives you a dial 0 through 12, I think 10. A dial for 0 through 10 or so of how strong you want that effect to be, and it gives a really neat effect that you don't get in a lot of other photo editing apps. So I'm gonna take the picker with the S, Shadows Tint it's called, and I'm gonna see what it might look like in purple, in blue. Probably just gonna bounce between purple and blue, and I think I like purple. So once I've picked purple, I'm gonna click that again and just kind of play around with it. I like something around 7. So check, and then click the check again. And then I'm actually going to, I want to dull the whole picture a little, so I'm gonna slide back down to the exposure, the sun, and I'm gonna just drop the exposure by 3. So now I've got my exposure at -3. Check. And then I'm gonna go to contrast, and I think I'm gonna kick the contrast up just to punch. Yeah, punch 2. Check. And then slide over to shadows again. Go back to my shadows tint. And might punch that up just a tad. Yeah, I like it around, okay, 11. So check that. That's the nice thing. You can always go back. It kind of saves what you picked it as already. So if you picked the shadow tint to be at like purple at like a level 3, when you go back, even if you leave that and go back, it remembers that you're at purple level 3 and you can bring it up to 4. It doesn't start you at 0 again. It remembers your choices. Okay, so here's what it's looking like right now. Kind of like a washed out, sort of smoky feel. And now I'm just gonna give it a shot with the highlight tint. Go with a creamy kind of color for a sec here. See what that does. I'm in between the creamy and the yellow. So I'm gonna bring that down into the middle. I like it a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going with a 10. Check, check. And, okay, so I've got my picture and I'm basically ready to export now. So what you do to export is you go down to this bar at the bottom with the arrow down, you hit check, and then you're looking at the thumbnail of it, or the picture, and then you see this check, you see this box with an arrow pointing outward. That's your export. So you hit that, and I like to save it to the camera roll. So that's basically the story, my love story with VSCO, and I would again love to see what you did with your new knowledge of VSCO, and kind of like how it's helped, and how do you feel like you've got a little bit more control now with your phone pictures. Let me know in the comments below, and wherever you post your newly controlled VSCO pics and iPhone pictures or phone pictures, hashtag that Nina VSCO, Nina VSCO. I would love to check it out and see where you're at. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. See ya!